Hi guys, it's Gillian and welcome back to my channel. I am a spiritual therapist and psychic coach, and on my channel we speak about everything from spirituality, sexuality, conscious business, and literally everything in between. So if that's your jam, then press the subscribe button and come join the party. So on today's episode, I wanted to talk about the 9 ways that you can develop your psychic abilities. Now, wow, honing my psychic abilities has been the journey. It is a lifelong journey, and I am still uncovering more and more and going deeper and deeper into my own abilities. Now, everyone has their own journey when it comes to developing their intuition and psychic abilities, and some may never. That is just not a part of the path that they have chosen for their soul in this lifetime. And then there are others that are really guided towards developing their spiritual self, that are guided towards healing, that are guided towards developing their psychic abilities. Now, some people may innately be psychic. They could be extremely intuitive kids. They could just naturally have psychic abilities and trust their intuition throughout their whole life. And those people are rare, to be honest. Or there are other people that feel they're not intuitive at all, but realize the blockages and the lack of benefits of not trusting their intuition, because somewhere along the way that might have got them into some problematic experiences, some problematic relationships where they felt they really couldn't trust themselves. And then you have the people like myself who were extremely psychic and sensitive and empathic kids, but through my own trauma and childhood experiences, I closed down my psychic abilities. I closed down my sense of feeling, my sense of knowing, my sense of trusting my own voice and the information that I was given. And therefore that led me to living a very disconnected life. And there was a lot of things that then came from that, a lot of numbing, a lot of avoidance, until I had a spiritual awakening and I was just blasted open, and so many weird synchronicities happened where I couldn't really ignore it anymore. And I just ended up following my intuition, following the signs that were sprinkled for me that actually led me to a psychic college. And I know Hogwarts is real, guys. It was a psychic college in London that I attended for many years to develop my psychic abilities. And since then, I've pretty much trained in about 11 different healing and spiritual modalities over the last 12 years. Honestly, for my own healing journey, and it was for my own self-awareness journey, I realized I didn't know who I was. I felt very disconnected to a lot of things, and exploring these parts of myself and parts of the higher realms and connecting to things that were able to give me some clarity in my life was so life-changing for me. And again, it's been a journey, from when I first started developing my psychic abilities to it's honestly been a journey of really going deeper into a level of self-trust. I had a lot of self-doubt come up. I had a lot of imposter syndrome come up. I had a lot of, do I know enough? I had a lot of old conditioning. And this conditioning, as I said, these like psychic blocks to me trusting myself came from limiting beliefs, my family, my ancestral line, society, a lot of past life stuff, and obviously some childhood trauma. Not some childhood trauma, you know what I mean? And this is a big thing that a lot of people don't realize, that you have these blocks. You could be intuitive and you could actually go and learn in a class to start to do readings and tap into your psychic abilities and interpret messages. But there's so many other components that I realized through my 12 plus year journey in doing this and learning and training in energy healing, past life regression, theta, meditation, all of these other things, that doing one without all the others, I don't think you could be as amazing and efficient as you could be. because there's so many different layers to the things that are blocking you, to how to tap into your intuition more. There's so many different components, and I think because I have studied so many different modalities, I'm now able to really see and put all of these together to create a really cohesive teaching on how to truly connect to your psychic abilities in the most profound way. Because I went through my own mistakes, I went through my own hiccups, I went through my own blocks, I did things out of integrity, I didn't learn how to protect my energy. Like all of these things that, through investing in myself and experiencing so many different modalities from my own healing standpoint, really allowed me to come to this place of clarity where I'm now doing this full-time as a business, as a professional. So you can do that too, guys. You can absolutely do that too. And I'm here to tell you now 9 top ways that you can start to hone into your psychic abilities today. So the first thing is meditation. Now, meditation is something that I've studied, and it is something that I use daily. And there's so many different ways to meditate. There are, you can meditate walking. You can meditate in just being out in nature. You can meditate by listening to a guided meditation, doing your own thing. Like, meditation is not a one size fits all, and there's going to be different points in your life where different things feel best for you. And again, this is all about trusting your intuition around the way that I used to meditate doesn't feel like that's the way I need to meditate right now. So what does that actually look like for me? And being able to train yourself to quiet the mind is vital in being able to connect to your psychic abilities, to be able to connect to that inner voice. Because we live in a world now that is so chaotic, that is so full of noise, so full of fast information that we are trying to interpret with our mind, but we are unable to sometimes drop into a place of stillness. And meditation really helps you do that. And with, again, new technologies coming out like AI, we are even on a bigger scale being, let's say, what's the right word? Lied to. Without a better word, we are being made to believe things in like mainstream media that are just not true. Because you've got things like AI that can do some crazy shit. Like, it can create whole videos that look like real people, and people that you like know personally doing things that they didn't do. So being able to have this level of discernment around what is real and what isn't is one of the key benefits of being able to tune into your own intuition and develop your psychic abilities. So meditation, really being able to drown out that external noise and tuning into your inner voice to know what is true and what is not true. Meditation is an amazing way to start doing this today. And the second thing that goes hand in hand with that is practicing stillness. So again, there's so many different ways you can meditate. You can do activations, you can do visualizations, but learning to come from a place of stillness, really quieting that mind, to really start to tune in without all of that noise, to tune into how you feel, start to notice what you sense, see, smell. Like, being out of nature is actually a really great way to promote stillness. I know that sounds crazy because there are so many different scents, smells, whatever, but it helps to put your body in a state of equilibrium and balance when we are by the sea, on a beach, in the forest, and can really help promote that level of tuning into all of your senses, but having the mind extremely still. So stillness, key component. And a third thing that I think is obviously so important, like, you can do so many things by yourself, but investing in a mentor or teacher that does this professionally can high speed your own development. Like that is what I have done all of my life. I have mentors and teachers for so many different modalities: energy healing, Reiki, past lives, theta, art therapy, like all of these different things. I have invested in people that are doing this, that know the pitfalls, that understand the journey, that know what steps to take to get to the goal that I want to achieve, which is developing in your case, developing your psychic abilities. And what I also want to preface is, when I first started my journey, I went to a psychic school, and it was in person, and they were teaching us how to connect and channel information and do readings. But what they didn't do is, again, all the things that I mentioned earlier, was to clear all of my blocks around being seen, of sharing my voice, of not being wrong, like all of these old programs and beliefs that were actually blocking my psychic abilities and my fear of actually doing it. That they didn't cover that at all. They also didn't cover energy protection. And there was a point where I actually went into class, and I left class, and then the next week I went back to class, and my foot had been burning the whole time because we were doing some mediumship readings, and they didn't teach me how to clear my energy properly. So I actually carried the physical manifestations of the person that I was channeling through mediumship with me for a whole week. And you can imagine how that would affect my energy, right? I picked up attachments. Like, there's so many different elements because they didn't teach me how to, like, the proper energetic hygiene. Because when you are starting to open up your psychic abilities and channel, you raise your level of consciousness, you raise your level of light, and that can be like flies to shit, basically. They are, low vibration energies and entities can be very, very attracted to your light. So if you have poor energetic boundaries, if you aren't clearing yourself, if you aren't clearing yourself after every client, if you aren't grounding yourself, like, there's so many components, you could fall prey to energetic vampires, energetic attachments, or entities. And I have been there, done it, bought the t-shirt, and I understand what needs to be done so that never happens to you. Like I said, because I have gone through not just the spiritual development training, I'm trained in so many other modalities, the energy healing, past lives, the ancestral stuff, everything. I have really created a whole formation of things that I know to be the most beneficial to achieve what you want to achieve as quickly as you can achieve it. Like, bringing that whole multidimensional aspect and self of my skills and training to help someone else to develop themselves psychically, where I've seen a lot of other teachers do not and cannot do that. So yes, invest in a mentor or teacher. It's really going to help you with your psychic awakening and hightail you to where you want to go. And that might be to do professional readings. That might be as part of, you might be an energy healer, you want to have a deeper level of service for your client, you might be a coach, or you might not be doing this a business at all. Like, when I first started, this was never meant to be a business for me. It was just synchronized, like, I just had signs that I followed the breadcrumbs. And I had loads of weird spiritual experiences and psychic experiences when I was younger that I ignored, but I ended up going into it and falling into it. Well, actually, I know it was because I was meant to, firstly, as if you're interested in this, then you're also meant to. But I also just did it because it felt good and I felt connected when I was feeling so disconnected. I was learning so much about myself. I was unpacking parts of myself that I never even knew were there. And I am an extremely curious person, and the benefits of the healing that came through developing my psychic abilities was just phenomenal. And yeah, did I know that would turn into a business down the line? Absolutely not. When I started, it was just an interest, and yeah, there was huge benefits that came from it as a result. So hire a mentor or teacher. And another thing you can do to develop your psychic abilities is keep a dream journal. Now, I have very prolific dreams because I'm very clairvoyant. So I see things very visually. And if you have a lot of very clear dreams, very detailed dreams, that might also be a main psychic sense for you. So when we are asleep and we are dreaming, our conscious mind is out of the way. So we are accessing our subconscious mind. So again, we're in that place of stillness where these subconscious insights we can access them. And that's what shows up in our dreams. And a lot of dreams have meaning. So keeping a dream journal and writing your dreams in at the minute you wake up, guys, you have to do it the minute you wake up, because sometimes I won't, and then I'll forget what it is. So starting to go through this dream journal and starting to like encode how you receive information, if there's any patterns there, can be an amazing way that your psychic skills and intuitive information is already coming to you in your dreams. So keeping a dream journal is a really, really great way to do that. And another way is to trust your instincts. Now, I know that is easier said than done because we have been so programmed not to trust our hearts, not to trust our gut, our instincts. We have been so manipulated and programmed and trained to live in our minds and trust what we can see, not actually what we can feel. So this just takes practice, right? But really, again, slowing down when anything comes up and just noticing the reactions in your body, just noticing what comes up, how that feels in your body, what your own natural reactions are, and you can slowly start to understand what is coming from a place of intuition or psychic nudges versus what is coming from a place of fear and maybe past hurt and wounding. So again, this just takes practice, and it just takes a level of self-awareness instead of something happening and us reacting to it in a way, be that a situation, a relationship, whatever, taking that moment to really slow down and sit with ourselves and sit with our body to go, what is this? Is this something that I really need to follow? Is this something I really need to trust? Or is this something that's holding me back out of fear? Now, yeah, that's a really big thing, is like trust your intuition, trust your gut, trust your own natural instincts, because we are actually wired to be extremely intuitive beings, but it's just kind of been beaten out of us by society, right? So trust your instincts. And then another thing you can use to develop your psychic abilities is divination tools. Now, things like pendulum, like oracle cards, which I've got scattered everywhere, tarot cards, runes, things like numerology. Numerology was actually, when I had a big spiritual awakening back in 2012, I was guided to Google numerology. I just had like this, and this is how sometimes you can get psychic hits, is like thoughts in your head. You can just have a thought that just doesn't make sense to the context of what you're thinking normally. And I was guided to look up numerology. And the thing that I was discussing with my friend about how I realized I was just all of these confusing, complex things that didn't really match with each other. When I started reading my numerology chart, I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly what I was talking about. Like, these are all the different multi-layers and aspects of me, of my psyche, that I've just discovered that I am, that I never knew I was. So having things like that can really help support understanding yourself at a deeper level, helping develop your abilities. And things like pendulums, if you want it's dark so you can't see it. Yes, no answers. Working with a tool like this is amazing. Oracle cards, tarot cards, like it's one, it's fun, and two, you can really start to hone your abilities, because you can start to, especially with oracle cards, you can read the book, of course, but the more that you practice it, you can start to interpret what you're feeling and what you're seeing on the cards, the colors. Again, it's all practice. Like everything, it's a skill, right? As I said, some people are naturally born with it and they just fly, unusual, but it happens. Or there's other people that have it, lose it, or not lose it, numb it, like me, or people that feel they don't have it, but they do, but you've probably numbed it in some way that you're just not aware of. And it's just building muscle, just learning a skill. So divination tools are honestly like so fun to use. I don't even want to think how many like oracle cards and tarot cards I have. I'm also building my own deck too, or multiple decks, because I'm an artist and I like to write. So yes, there are some decks being channeled through me that will be birthed into reality at some point. So super fun, great thing to really help you with your intuition. And the other thing that I mentioned before was clearing your blocks. Now, as I said, this is something that I think is very unique to the way that I work and how I teach people within their psychic development journey, is because we have so many blocks that are blocking our natural psychic gifts and our soul gifts to come through. And these can come from so many different places. Like, we are a multidimensional soul. So the blocks are multidimensional. They're from different lifetimes, different planets, from our ancestral line, the fears and the programmings that have been passed down our family line, from our childhood, our conditioning, society, trauma, media, religion. Like, there's all of these different things that can create emotional, mental, and like even physical blocks to us fully accessing our psychic gifts, or even being able to then turn those into, like, for example, doing readings for people, or being out on social media, or starting your own business. Like, there are so many blocks that we have, especially, like our past lives. Oh my God. The majority of people that are now interested and training and studying to open up their intuition and their psychic development absolutely had some past lives of being a priestess, a witch, a wizard, like a mystic in some way, a healer, a naturopath, and you have chosen to probably go deeper in this lifetime. So yes, and in some of those lifetimes you may have been persecuted. There may be a lot of blocks around you actually trusting yourself, using your voice, and actually being really afraid to do so. Like, I had so many of these, and this is why I am really like qualified to be able to really understand and help and support you with wherever your blocks are coming from, and be able to clear them out at the root cause, which I think is so invaluable. So you are fully integrated and have shifted anything that's stopping you. Because you can learn a skill, but if you're so terrified to actually put yourself out there and do that, to do a reading or to follow it through, or you might have a big mission that you really want to help people with your wisdom and your knowledge and help yourself. But if you're so afraid of actually doing that for whatever reason, then you're not going to be able to make impact in the world. And then another thing that I think is really invaluable for you to tap into and develop your psychic abilities is to literally set intentions. Like, our intention, like, people don't set intentions, but it is so powerful. It is so simple yet so powerful. And sometimes those are the most powerful things. It's like the simple things. Like, I sometimes can make things so complicated that it's like I have to remind myself, simple is powerful. It really is. So setting intentions to, again, practice, right? Setting intentions to get a sign or a synchronistic experience of a day, or to see an angel number when you're walking on the street, or to communicate or get a sign from a passed on loved one or a guide. Setting the intention to actively start asking for signs or asking for communication from passed on loved ones or guides, you will start to notice things. Like, you will start to notice these things in your reality, because what you ask the universe will provide. But if you're not asking, then they're not going to provide. So, and honestly, I'll take this one in the head, because sometimes, like, I don't, I've been in phases of my life where I haven't done it. And I'm like, why am I not doing that? Like, my guides are here to support me. The universe is here to support me. Like, give me a sign on this. Being able to develop your psychic abilities, it's like there's so many different ways that you can access information and support and feel connected that it's really fun, but you have to kind of explore it and use them, right? Firstly. And then the last thing is, I've mentioned it a few times, is practice, and practice. Like I said, it is a skill, and we have to practice to become good at it. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you want to be a world-class tennis player, you gotta go into the court and like practice. So it's no different when you're developing any kind of skill, is you just gotta practice. So all the things that I've mentioned: meditate, get still, practice with your divination tools, set the intentions, work with a teacher and a mentor, like invest in yourself. Do visualizations, like practice readings with your friends, like whatever it is, you need to practice at it, right? And that has been so true for my journey. You know, I started doing readings at the very, very start when I did my psychic development course, and then I didn't do anything. And then I went and explored other kind of healing modalities and whatnot. And then it's like, it's kind of like you learn to ride a bike again. It's there, but practice makes perfect, right? And it's true for everything. So I hope you enjoyed this, my beautiful soul seekers. If you are on your psychic awareness journey, if you're on your spiritual journey, if you want to build a business doing this, if you don't even want to build a business, but you just realize the huge benefits of being able to tap into this unseen world, to be able to be your own oracle, to be able to be self-led, to make the best, most aligned decisions, to feel so connected and supported, to be able to help others. Like, if you know you're here for a bigger mission, and you are drawn into developing your intuition and your spirituality and your psychic gifts or past lives, or being able to connect with guides, whatever it is that looks like for you, then this is a great place to start. So yeah, if you're interested in exploring more, then I will be running my intuitive awareness program very, very soon. I will leave a link here, or if you want to join my newsletter, you will be informed before anyone else for any early bird promotions and when it's launching and all of the content. And yeah, if you enjoyed this, then give me a thumbs up, press the subscribe button, and I will see you on the next one.